Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my review and give my thoughts on the Season 6 premiere of Arrow on the CW, which was called Fallout. And yeah, spoilers ahead if you haven't seen the episode, although the thumbnail is kind of a spoiler, but not really if you've seen it. But yeah, there's spoilers in the title, so don't blame me. Yeah, so anyway, this aired on Thursday night. I know it's been a couple days, but I just have a lot of shows to watch right now. I mean, Thursday alone, it has Supernatural, Arrow, and Van Helsing. And then just a couple days before that, I had a few others I needed to deal with. But I did want to talk about Arrow. I'm not sure if I'm going to review every episode this season, but I'm at least going to touch on it when I can, or when it, brings an episode that, really gets me into it. But yeah, so this episode is called Fallout, and there's a 5-month time skip, of course, after the explosion at Lian Yu, and of course the big mystery was, who's dead, who survived, and, things of that nature, and all that was answered fairly, quickly within the episode. A lot of people have been saying this, but I will say that both Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow did sort of have issues, following through on their, sort of Season 3 and Season 5 cliffhangers. Legends Season 2 cliffhanger, because with Legends, you can watch my review of that if you want to hear more of my thoughts on it, but, just a little bit odd of some of the things they do with Rip Hunter so quickly and stuff like that. But with this, it was sort of a letdown. A lot of us were hoping Felicity would have been killed in the explosions. That would have been phenomenal, and I think that would have actually done a whole lot more for the show. But for some reason, they still really, really want to keep Felicity alive, even though the whole comment section on every Arrow post talks about how they want Felicity dead. Or at least to have Felicity not be a thing, but that appears to still be a thing this season, so that's exciting. Felicity somehow survives, of course. I didn't think they were going to kill off, every single person that was in danger there, but I think we should have gotten, at least 1 or 2 major deaths. I think that would have actually sold, the effects that Adrian Chase had. His whole plan, and it would have made the, cliffhanger, a lot more worthwhile, I think. So that part was kind of disappointing, because only, was her name Samantha? The mother of Oliver's son, she's dead, but she manages to tell Oliver, to, take care of her, their boy and be a good father and such, as the plot would have it. But she is killed, and, it doesn't really matter that much. Well, it matters, but, unfortunately we didn't really see much of her throughout the series, so I don't think any of the fans really, care about her, personally that much. And at first I thought, okay, they actually killed off Thea too. That's actually a pretty, major death. But we find out later she's in a coma. Because, Willa Holland, is on some kind of hiatus or something, so she doesn't have to do as much work this season. So this is just a way to sort of, write her off, temporarily. I think it would have been better if Thea was actually killed. I do like Thea, but I think they needed some kind of death like that. Either her, Felicity, or at least someone else actually matters to the show and the fans. I did like the flashbacks we got, to Lian Yu, though. I just liked, sort of Slade staying there with Oliver to, show respect and sort of, in a way be there for him, I guess. Although I wish they had talked more about Slade sort of going off on his own right before the explosions, went off. Because he didn't think they would have, kept up and everything. So I was expecting Oliver to, blame Slade or something for not, taking care of him or watching him or something, or having him follow him. But, it is what it is. You don't really need, we don't really need Slade as a villain anymore or anything. I just think there should have been a little more of that, perhaps. But I nonetheless still really like the Oliver and Slade scenes. They're definitely the best parts of the episode. It's good to have Manu Bennett sticking around as the character. And this episode just screamed for Deathstroke spin-off to start, by the way. He's going to Calgary, I think it was, or something like that, to try and find his son. It would have been that easy. Just have the spin-off start there. The fans want it. I think it would get just as much, if not more, attention than all the other CW DC shows. So I don't know why they wouldn't do this. Slade has been a fan favorite since season 2, so yeah, I think that's kind of a missed opportunity there. But hopefully, maybe they do it after this season. I don't know. Maybe they'll see how the people react to him this season. To know for sure. I don't know. But I think we'll see more of Slade later. But like I said, I liked all the island flashbacks, despite no real consequences, I guess. And then we have Black Siren, the other Earth Laurel as a threat, and I think that's all right. I think they're kind of inconsistent with how good of a fighter she is, though. Because she can't best Oliver, obviously, and then Dinah can beat her, which is good. But then sometimes she'll just beat Dinah, and I don't really think she's ever established to be trained quite as well. But I don't know. It's all right to have Katie Cassidy around, but I think we need a better threat than her right now, and that'll probably be who saved her after Quentin had shot her on Lian Yu and supposedly killed her. Of course, Quentin's dealing with in a way having to kill his daughter, and knowing he pulled the trigger even though it wasn't her. But we kind of went over that last season. And it sounds like I'm bashing this episode quite a bit, but I actually liked it. I think I actually liked it a little bit more than the Legends premiere. The Legends premiere is fun, but despite a little bit of a disappointment with no deaths on Lian Yu, I still think it was a better episode that had me a little bit more engaged instead of just having fun. And the Deathstroke and Slade stuff just makes it whenever he's on screen. I still thought it was a good episode. Of course, Diggle is also having some trouble, with his aim and everything due to the effects of the island as well. And, Felicity and Oliver are looking to rekindle their romance at some point, so I know everyone wants that, right? I think it'd be a much more natural thing if they eventually went like an Oliver and Dinah route instead, but they seem hellbent on Felicity and Oliver, so great. But we don't need to talk about that again. Let's see what else. And Oliver's son. I think it could be a good dynamic for the show. It's fairly predictable. We've seen storylines like this before. But I again liked Oliver and Slade's conversation about that and what Slade told him. So yeah, not a bad episode at all. I rated the Legends episode like around an 8.2, so I'm at least going to give this one 8.3, 8.4 out of 10, I think. I do think they could have structured the episode differently. I almost wish there was like a whole sequence of what happened at Lian Yu instead of having it scattered throughout the episode. But at least they didn't make it go throughout the whole season somehow. Just the flashback to the moment the island went up, throughout the whole season. That would have been a bit much. But yeah, Legends premiere was fun, but I was just more engaged with this one. But I do think once Legends kicks into gear, I do think I'm going to enjoy it more than Arrow. But as of now, I think the Arrow premiere has a little bit of an edge. But again, it would have been nice if someone actually died that mattered to the fans. But it was alright. So yeah, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.